各位觀眾大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄。根據美國城市改革機構嘅2022人口統計數據以及國際房屋可負擔能力報告之中指出啦，溫哥華嘅中位倍數咧係13.3，咁即係溫市嘅樓價中位數係家庭收入中位數嘅13.3倍，位列全球嘅第3高。溫哥華嘅房屋可負擔問題多年嚟未有得到解決。而近年就有越嚟越多嘅人嘗試短暫甚至係全時間投身於車中泊 van life 嘅生活。咁車中泊一字源於日本，咁意思咧係指車上瞓覺嘅人。咁其實 van life 車內生活嘅文化早喺世界各地流行。咁不過當真正要實踐車中泊嘅時候，當中嘅細節又係點㗎啦？
車除咗可以攞嚟駕駛之外，住喺入邊又可唔可行呢？
Yeah, I've been living in my van about full time 3 months, just about. Part time I did last year.
喺部分人嘅印象入邊，居住喺汽車之內，可能係因為當時人嘅經濟拮據，未能夠負擔房屋嘅租金，而迫於無奈咁居住喺汽車入邊。不過近年就有越嚟越多人係自願選擇住喺車入邊。
I chose to live in a van because why not? You know, I've always been an adventurer. I always like pushing my boundaries, traveling.
呢一種生活方式被譽為 van life 車中泊。有人會認為係挑戰自我，有人就認為係揾到合適自己嘅生活方式。
So for me, this is a no-brainer. It's not that this is a challenge and I'm putting myself up to a challenge. It's more that this is a lifestyle that I work with, that works with me.
近年受到社交媒體嘅吹捧之下，車中泊 van life 嘅生活就更加吸引咗唔少喜愛戶外嘅群眾，以更便捷嘅方式去旅遊或者進行戶外活動。不過喺社交媒體嘅鎂光燈外，車中泊生活嘅現實一面又係點樣嘅呢
？On my days off, I wake up and open up my van, put away my window coverings, and pull my kitchen out and make some coffee, and usually just enjoy the view. So this is how I usually do coffee in the morning. Bring out my cutting board. I have a small propane tank, and then my MSR.
目前已經全時間居住喺自己嘅7人車3個月嘅 Danny， 佢表示自己過去10年都一直處於一個旅居生活。鍾意滑浪嘅佢就留意到滑浪圈子入邊有唔少人都以車中泊嘅形式嚟居住，因此就對呢個生活方式產生興趣。再者，住屋成本高昂，亦都令到 Danny 願意考慮車中泊嘅生活。
I don't really like how expensive things are. It doesn't work for me. I don't want to be a slave to money. I don't want to work more than the lifestyle that I want currently, and that currently choose. It just doesn't line up.
既然一般生活嘅成本並唔符合 Danny 嘅預期之內，究竟車中泊生活所需嘅成本又有幾多呢？首先就要由車輛改裝講起。
I saved money and bought a newer vehicle that had low kilometers, which costs less in the long run. So I built the van by myself. I had friends lend me tools. I built it in like 2 segments mostly. I spent probably with like wood, supplies, all the additions that I've put on the van with my awning, solar, fridge, heater, everything, I put in about $7,000. I built this spring because it was just all this unused space. So I keep all my coffee and tea here, just some shirts, jackets. I got my speaker, my Bluetooth. I built a little library there.
Danny 嘅車內設計主要分為3個主要部分。佢將中排同埋後排嘅乘客座位拆除之後，利用騰空出嚟嘅空間喺左邊安裝咗儲物空間，中間就有一張單人床，而右邊就係佢嘅廚房同埋工作台。
If you ever make a van, have a countertop. Because I was like, yeah, a countertop, it looks cool, but I do everything on it. Like the amount of things you do in a house of just putting stuff somewhere. I think that's the hardest thing about a small space is like if you don't have a shelf, everything's gonna be on the floor. So having this, I can put my water there, I can put my cell phone when I'm watching YouTube, my speaker, make a mess when I'm trying to like build something. It's just utilitarian, yeah.
而喺一個狹小嘅空間生活，儲物自然就成為咗一個大難題。而 Danny 就喺儲物空間上邊花咗一啲心思。
This is my garage. So this is where I keep large food items, extra coffee, some tools, extra cleaners, you know, everything really. Yeah, yeah. And then I also have like just a little light if it's nighttime.
Danny 話：其實唔同嘅車輛根據唔同居住者嘅需求，車內嘅設計、改裝嘅風格都各有不同。而佢呢個改造就大概花咗佢200個小時。儲物同瞓覺嘅地方都處理好，不過喺水源方面又要點樣處理呢 ？Danny 表示有部分居車一族會喺車內安裝洗手盤，不過佢就並冇選擇呢個方案。
I do have an extra carton over here that's 6 gallons because I wanted more water just in case I was out for a longer time. This 3-gallon short stubby water bottle is my main source of water that I fill up all the time. And then it just has a hand pump. You can get the hand pump for like $10 at Canadian Tire or Amazon, but Canadian Tire is like, and just that's it.
除咗水源之外，穩定嘅電力供應都係生活重要嘅一部分。
The fuse panels in there, a little bit of electrical storage, and also my heater that I haven't installed. It's just kind of electrical storage right now.
Danny 表示喺車上取得電源嘅方式有好多種，可以由車輛嘅電池搭線路去撐額外安裝嘅鋰電池，亦都可以利用太陽能板或者新興嘅便攜式流動發電機，都可以滿足到車中泊生活所需嘅用電需要。
Yeah, this is my fridge. This is a Dometic CF25. I feel lucky I got it because it's a discontinued model. I'm sure you can find it used like I did. I got a good deal on it because someone had owned it for a couple years. I only knew that this van, this fit perfect because on another YouTube channel, another guy had researched and found this is the only one that fits in between the seats.
而 Danny 試過唔同方法之後，就發現太陽能板暫時都已經滿足到佢嘅需要。喺 Danny 改裝自己車輛嘅時候，有好多知識同埋技巧都係由網上有車中泊經驗嘅網民分享而嚟。而事實上，車中泊近年都成為咗社交媒體上其中一個熱門話題。喺社交媒體 Instagram 搜尋 Fan Life 嘅時候，有超過1300萬個貼文標記咗 Fan Life， 而車中泊就有大概63萬個。不過有一架改裝好嘅車，亦都只係開始車中泊生活嘅第一步。實際生活落嚟，沖涼等呢啲生活必要步驟，又可以點樣處理呢？
I use local recreation centers, which is great because it's maybe way more active. So whenever I go have a shower, I go use the gym, I go stretch, work out, love using the sauna, and then have a shower. So I get this really healthy lifestyle because I am getting out of my house and not just showering and sitting down, which is what I used to do.
當沖完涼之後 ，Danny 就需要揾地方泊車瞓覺。Danny 話：因為私隱問題，雖然佢唔會向公眾分享佢嘅秘密停車地點，不過佢挑選過夜地方嘅時候就有以下嘅考慮。
My van just looks like a van with some stuff on top. What I find is parking in areas that are quiet, obviously, but near apartment buildings, complexes, where it's not easy to define a vehicle. Not like parking in front of someone's house where they can say, hey, whose car is that? So, I mean, if you park in these busy neighborhoods that are quiet, that's usually where I park.
而 Danny 就有幾個經常停泊過夜嘅位置，以供轉換，並唔會每一晚都停喺同一個地點。而當佢揾到地點停車之後， Danny 就會開始為佢嘅車輛進行晚間睡覺改裝。
So this is what I do at nighttime. So I mean, you can see this on YouTube all the time. So these are window coverings that I made for each window. It's with Reflectix, and then spray glue, and then a black material with some Gorilla Tape. So it's good to be flexible when you live in a van.
Danny 每晚都需要將呢啲窗戶擋板裝上去，以確保私隱同埋安全。
The great thing about these is the hardest thing in a van besides being cold is being too hot. So in the summertime, I left this side shiny, even though when I go to bed it feels like I'm in a spaceship. I can switch sides and reflect the sun out, and it keeps the temperature in the van down like 10 degrees. This is van life for you right here. This is probably the most tedious thing that I have to do, because people are like, oh, that seems like a pain in the, but when you live in a van, you have to have some sort of compromise. So I'll put up my window coverings, close my curtains. If it's winter, I'll run my vehicle for a while, get it hot, and then I'll drive to my parking spot and go to bed. So I won't have any lights on. I mean, not that you can see the lights, but if you don't create noise and you don't create light, people don't know you're there. And usually I wake up at 6 a.m. and go to a coffee shop.
空間細小，生活便利度下降，係 Danny 口中車中泊生活嘅妥協。而呢啲妥協可以為 Danny 慳到幾多生活成本呢？
I think my gas bill is maybe $450 a month, just because it's a large vehicle and it has like all my belongings in it. So I would say my bills are like $600 a month without food, which is great. Like you could not get an apartment for that. Like when I first moved to Vancouver 18 years ago, I could have a one-bedroom for that price, and that's what I paid.
根據房屋租賃網站 Sunper 嘅數據顯示，溫氏目前嘅平均租金為大約2400蚊，按年上升20%。而喺網站上邊，目前亦都冇600蚊或者以下嘅一房租盤。
On a scale 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with your lifestyle with all your build right here?
I'm like 11 out of 10. I mean, I don't want to over glorify it because it has challenges. It's not like Instagram and like just like, ooh, it's so pretty. Like there's challenges, but I'm so happy. I'm happy I challenged myself. I'm happy I learned so much.
要過上車中泊嘅生活，首先呢就要有一部改裝好嘅車輛。究竟喺將車輛改裝成為流動居所嘅時候所涉及嘅工序又係點嘅呢？我哋下一節翻嚟再睇。歡迎翻嚟節目時間。上一節提到 ，Danny 係透過低成本自己動手嘅改裝方式嚟到實行車中泊嘅生活。不過並唔係每個人都可以好似 Danny 一樣有咁樣嘅建造知識同埋時間成本㗎。所以有唔少專為車中泊嘅車輛改裝店呢，就應運而生。究竟要將一部車輛改裝到可以居住嘅程度，當中係涉及啲乜嘢嘅技術呢？
要進行車中泊，有人會利用一般嘅家用車進行改裝，亦都會有另一類人去購買商用嘅客貨車進行改裝。有車中泊及露營車改裝店嘅共同負責人陽光與 Frank 表示，好多時候有意將車輛改成車中泊 van life 用途嘅客人，有唔少都會直接由車廠訂購一架空車，以減少改裝拆卸嘅步驟。
這一台就是剛剛從 Mercedes 提出來的一台空車。
Frank 指出，喺車中泊嘅圈子入邊，會有個別型號嘅車輛特別多人用，例如平治出產嘅 Sprinter 客貨車係其中一款特別受歡迎嘅。
它的平均油耗特別低，大概在如果是兩驅車型，大概在11升到13升每百公里之間；如果是四驅車型，一般在14到16升每百公里。
Frank 形容其實要將一架客貨車改裝成可居住嘅狀態，其實同一般裝修一個房間並冇太大分別。
從車的基礎到保溫到供水供電，然後再到內裝，然後家具，這一套都是包含在裡邊的，跟房子建造是沒有任何區別的。那個地方是沒有玻璃，然後我們自己裝的玻璃，然後上面會裝風扇，然後我們有裝柴油暖氣，基本上這些安裝的需求都是按照客戶的需求來安裝。
Frank 介紹，一般嚟講，市場上有兩種改裝車中泊客貨車嘅方式，分別係永久式同埋模組式嘅改裝，而兩種改裝方式就各自適合唔同嘅用戶。模組式改裝即係喺車上安裝唔同嘅軌道，所有家具、儲物櫃都可以透過軌道固定，方便安裝同埋拆卸。
这一个固定件的重量是 rated for 500 pounds， 就是将近230公斤没有问题。可以包括你的橱柜啊、厨房都可以固定在这个轨道上。这个 idea 是比较fit大部分人的，因为好多人他的 van 在周一到周五的时候是工作来用的，但是周六周日他如果有我们的这个内饰系统，他就可以把他的工作 van 变成一个 camper。
而永久式嘅改裝就指所有家具、設備都固定喺車架上邊，並唔可以隨意拆卸。
它就能在內飾空間方面 potentially 可以增加3%到5%的空間。還有一個就是它的可塑性更高，因為它不受到這些軌道和內飾的限制，幾乎是想做什麼東西它就可以做到什麼東西。我們也有客戶要求那種 full custom 這種永久式的改裝，因為這種客戶大部分都是要 full time live 在裡面的。
Frank 話：不論係邊一種改裝方式，有啲基礎嘅工序都係要必須完成嘅，包括保溫、隔音同埋地板。
因為 cargo van 來的時候裡邊全是鐵皮，你開起來噪音會非常大。我們會裝一層我們的 deck liner 在上面，先是減少截路。截路是房車的保溫的殺手，最大的殺手，沒有之一。解決截路和噪音之後，我們就可以在裡邊繼續做我們的內飾板，裡面會有2層保溫。因為地板，車裡面的熱量會往上走，地板的保溫不是特別重要。
安裝完地板底層就可以安裝地板表層，但係喺選擇地板表層嘅時候 ，Frank 表示需要選擇耐磨、防水嘅材料，至適合車中泊嘅居住模式。喺基本嘅改裝完成之後 ，Frank 就話內部嘅空間設計同埋家具安排其實都係因人而異嘅。咁樣一般嚟講，改裝一架客貨車嘅預算大概係幾多呢？
如果您要是 full time live in it， 就是全天候的在裡面住，那您的預算要在35000到7萬之間。如果你只是一個Weekender camper， 就是周末、周六、周日會去，然後你只需要一些簡單的廚房啊，簡單一些家具，那你的預算可能就在2萬到3萬之間就可以了。
Frank 表示，視乎改裝嘅複雜程度，施工時長亦都有所不同。一般嚟講，短則1個星期到1個半星期就可以完成，長則就需要6個禮拜到8個禮拜嘅時間。Frank 指出，有人會選擇自己動手改裝車輛進行車中泊，亦都有人會選擇讓專業人士幫忙，而佢就有以下嘅睇法。
自己動手的優點就是你對你的車從裡到外都非常了解，將來如果在路上出現什麼問題，你可以自己去解決。但是呢，作為很多第一次 DIY 來說，他可能對policy 啊、insurance policy 啊，然後原車的 warranty policy不太了解，那我就比較建議，如果你自己查不到這些 policy 或者自己不太確定的話，花上一些錢去找一個 professional 諮詢一下。
傳統嘅住屋模式成本高昂，要追求另類嘅生活方式，車中泊又係咪唯一選擇呢？32歲嘅 Simon Styles 就揾到屬於佢嘅答案。
I knew that I wanted to build my own home, I wanted to be nomadic, and I wanted it to be fossil fuel free. So I wanted to be solar and electric powered, and wind powered. So I was looking at sailboats. I started sailing on some boats in San Francisco Bay and back in Ottawa and out here on the West Coast.
I haven't seen this boat. I haven't stepped foot on it. I haven't laid eyes on it, but I'm buying it, and I'll explain exactly why I'm doing that.
就喺4年前 ，Simon 買咗呢架雙體船，並打算重新翻新之後喺入邊居住。
I ended up buying this boat sight unseen, and it was a real shipwreck. Had I known more back then, I probably would have picked something a little bit easier.
其實 Simon 喺買呢架船之前，其實都過咗一段時間嘅車中泊生活。 當時任職攝影師嘅佢，認為車中拍嘅生活方式可以有助佢揾到唔同地方拍攝作品。不過喺車中拍嘅期間，佢就發現汽油成本佔咗佢生活預算入邊嘅一大部分。
I ended up spending about 60% of my budget just on gasoline. So it was $1,200 roughly a month. Some months it was less, some months it was more, depending on how far I was traveling.
所以當 Simon 用5000蚊買咗呢架雙體船之後，佢就決定打造一架以太陽能同埋風力驅動嘅船隻，以減少化石燃料嘅使用。自此之後 ，Simon 就開始咗長達4年嘅船隻維修旅程。
We've already done a lot of demolition. Check this out. The deck is being torn clean off. We have to ensure that each bolt has a good grip on the whole frame of the boat, not just a little section of hull.
I had a really good luck of landing here on Gabriola Island. Gabriola is an island primarily populated by seniors, but that means they have 60, 70 years of life experience to share with you. So there are a lot of shipwrights living on this island that are retired that have just decades and decades of experience and tools and expertise to pass down to you.
喺維修嘅4年期間 ，Simon 都已經一直住喺船上邊，而佢就高興見到自己嘅船隻變得越嚟越好。
Just the quality of life started quite low when I got out here, so that's really the sacrifice I put in. Nowadays, it's a little bit probably nicer than it was in my old apartment. I have a much better view. Instead of having a bachelor apartment, I now have a 4-bedroom house on the water. I have my own washing machine. I have my own fireplace. I mean, it's a lot nicer than my apartment was back then.
雖然已經用咗4年時間，但係 Simon 表示船嘅維修仲未完成，佢預計再花多1年嘅時間，船隻就應該可以準備好正式航行。
As I think anybody who's built a boat before knows, a boat is never truly done. There's always more to do, but there is a lot less to do today than there was a few years ago. I am hoping to get the boat moving this summer so we can start testing her out, and I assume within the next year she will be completely done. But again, that also means she will be up for modifications and refits and this and that.
Simon 形容喺維修嘅過程入邊，佢犯過好多嘅錯誤，要不斷調整同埋重新維修。佢坦言，船中拍並唔係一個容易嘅生活方式。
You need to learn how to do all of this stuff first. So, yeah, it's been a real uphill battle, but I've learned and mastered a lot of skills in that time.
但係如果佢可以重新選擇一次，佢仍然會選擇呢一種生活方式。
I don't see it as easier to live in a house, to be honest. I think it depends mostly on your personality, but I'm the kind of person, I don't know that I would actually make it in a suburban house with the cars and the kids and all that, and the career job. It's just, I'm the kind of person that wouldn't survive that scenario.
無論係邊一種嘅生活方式，都有佢嘅好處同埋壞處。不過，究竟車中拍或者係船中拍，又係咪適合所有人呢？係體驗緊車中拍嘅 Danny 同埋體驗緊船中拍嘅 Simon 就係咁樣諗嘅。
Do you think van life is for everyone?
I can't say for sure. Everybody's different. And I think a better question would be like, what's your dream? You know, what do you want to create? What do you want to experience in your life?
I don't think that van life and boat life are for everybody, but I do wish that everyone would try it. It is quite challenging, especially if you're used to getting your power from the wall or getting your water from the tap. If we had a population that knew where their water was coming from and how much it was valued and valued the power that was coming out of their wall sockets and knew what appliances and what amount of energy goes into things, maybe we would have a much easier time of saving this planet.
好啦，今集嘅節目時間又差唔多啦。咁如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話，係好歡迎大家以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。 如果觀眾想重溫翻今集嘅節目，亦都可以上到去我哋嘅網站點擊節目重溫一欄。好啦，下星期同一時間再同大家見面，晚安。